Hello everybody, it's Lucy Wolf here, sleep consultant and author of the Baby Sleep Solution. I hope you're really well today. Following on from my previous post recently, I just wanted to cover a couple of other items that may be affecting the progress that you're trying to make with your young child. So we've spoken recently about sleepability, we've spoken about sleep segments, the overnight sleep segment specifically, and we have spoken about, when bedtime's not early enough and that overtired tank is still too full. And if you haven't watched those videos already, I think it's a really good idea if you go back and watch them, because I'm trying to tie them all in together so that then you can start to make the changes that I recommend and that you'll understand why. I think it's important to observe those adjustments and why they can make such a difference when you are striving for and looking for better sleep for your little family unit. Now we have to bear in mind always that the majority of what I'm talking about at the moment is focused on children aged 6 months plus. So if you're doing other things with your younger babies, don't worry, don't change things necessarily, but I would encourage you to use the sleep shaping guidelines in my book, The Baby Sleep Solution, because they will help you lay a foundation, and more than that, sometimes they may help you never have to watch a video like this and make those changes. So I spoke the last day about the overtired tank being too full, and I always reference that because I think it's a real good visual, because I want you to think that ultimately what we try to do is we of course try to strengthen the sleepability. We also try to lower that tank, deplete its contents. And as we deplete the contents, your child's body becomes better rested and they want more sleep, and they tend to be able to do better sleep when we are lowering that tank. And so bringing forward the bedtime can definitely do that, and also bringing forward the bedtime also unlocks the daytime mechanism for sleep. So sometimes you might have somebody who's sleeping really well but they don't sleep well during the day, and the adjustment needed is to bring forward bedtime to help unlock the daytime mechanism for sleep. And that brings me to my point actually, that daytime sleep is a segment that has a huge influencing factor on your child's sleep. And obviously if the sleep segment overnight is very fractured and broken, it can leave us vulnerable to that dynamic playing out during the day. So the more under-rested overnight, you start the day with your tank really full, and as a result of the tank being really full, daytime sleep is happening when your baby's already overtired. As a result of that, the naps can be short or they can be varied in duration, and then often we have what I describe as being a nap imbalance. And that nap imbalance is when a couple of things might happen, and the two that I feel are the ones that cause the most problems are when the day is top heavy for sleep. So the early part of the day, the nap is long and strong, but as the day unfolds, the rest of the daytime sleep either doesn't happen or it's quite weak, which means by the time you get to bedtime, that tank is still too full, and then the problems continue to spiral and cycle, and then that tank can often overflow as well. And so as a result of that, I try to regulate the daytime sleep. I try to make sure that we don't allow the first nap to exceed maybe more than an hour and a half, in order to make sure that the second nap is maybe getting close to that duration. And in some instances later on, when things are improving, I might even cut the first nap even more in an effort to give the second nap, promote the second nap and make the second nap longer and stronger. Now lots of you will complain about short naps, but again it's probably worth watching the video on short naps because there's loads to it and there's lots of contributing factors that you probably need to work through in an effort to start to see your child stitch together maybe 1 or even 2 sleep cycles in a nap segment. So the nap imbalance where the day is top heavy contributes to a lot of the issues that you describe, but also the nap imbalance when the daytime sleep is over too soon. So the daytime sleep is finished at 4, your baby goes to bed at 7, so the bedtime is appropriate, but the gap is too big if your baby is younger than 8 months of age. So you'll know, some of you will already know about my nap gap dynamic that I promote, that between the ages of 4 months and 8 months we try not to have children awake for more than 2 hours between their last nap and bedtime. Between 8 months and 18 months we're looking for that to be 3 to 4 hours, and between 18 months and 3 years, as long as your child is napping, maybe 4 to 5 hours. And bearing in mind that the overtired child, or the child who's not routinely sleeping well, they benefit from being on the lower end of the scale rather than the max. So don't forget that tank is full, and as a result of the tank being full, you nearly always need to be conservative about those bandwidths. So like I read someone recently there said that they do the 5 p.m. for their child, but then bedtime's not till 9. There's no point doing the gap dynamic if you don't allow it to honour the natural bedtime then. So again, it's trying to put all the little pieces of the puzzle together, and these are certain items that I feel stop you from making the progress that you really would like to make. So I hope that's helpful. I refer to it as a nap imbalance. It could also be referred to as, let's say, when there's not nap deprivation. But I suppose what I never really want is parents feeling like they need to fill a quota of daytime sleep, because I totally believe in the body, and that if we program the body for better sleep, then the body responds in kind. And that's all about getting to your baby before they become overtired, lowering that tank, and as a result of that, allowing the body to grow your sleep. So I hope that's helpful. You can read more about it in the book, The Baby Sleep Solution. There's loads of resources here in the IGTV. And of course, you can always choose to work with me directly, and you can email me, lucy@sleepmatters.ie, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon.